Well, Henshaw again, your friendly local constitutional kook out here in California. And the subject matter today in general is abortions, a very hot button issue. It's a lot of you know out there, but it shouldn't be. And once you understand what's really going on, and the big deal here is Roe versus Wade never mattered. 50 odd years ago, almost, yeah, 50 years ago, didn't matter. It's not there. And you'll learn all the reasons why, by getting my modestly priced document information packet. Uh, so that's not the point. What you have to do is get there the right way. And there's more than one way to do that in the U.S. Supreme Court. And we'll discuss that at great length in another video. But basically, the Ninth Amendment and or Article 1, Section 10. And when you learn how far afield this really is, I mean, the feds have absolutely no right over creator endowed and alienable rights of members, of the sovereign body politic of the state, let alone inhabitants of territories. That's what you'll also learn. So if you get there the right way, now you got something to talk about. So just a quickie about that. The first page of the first law course I took 41 years ago, and I've still got most of those documents there. The Ashwander Doctrine of the Court. And what do they say in there? Rule 3. The court will not rule upon an issue of constitutional law, though properly presented by the record, if there is some other ground, application for social insecurity benefits, upon which the case can be disposed of, not to mention disposing of your creator endowed inalienable rights. But you get up there the right way, and there's more than one right here. The Ninth Amendment is a real big deal, as you will learn, as is Article 1, Section 10. Now we have something different to talk about. And not only that, but this works because, there's a lot of quote unquote states out there trying to pass laws to restrict abortion. They don't have any right either. Now, I'm not a big fan of abortion. I've never been in love with it, but that's a personal, individual decision that you make. And you'll learn a lot more about the reasons why the government thinks it's involved, up to your neck too. But they're not. And this is what has to change. And I can help you do it. Send me an email, youwinningcourt@gmail.com. And I'll be glad to tell you all about what I've been doing the last 40 years. And that said, by the way, a quickie right now, recently, it sure as hell seems like I've got the biggest win in the history of the U.S. Supreme Court. But in this black as white system, it's nowhere to be found in the official records. We'll learn more about that in my Iowa criminal case. And yeah, it's a criminal case, so it looks like it wouldn't be relevant with abortions or with speeding tickets or mortgages or this, that, and the other. But they're all the same issues when you understand it. Send me an email, youwinningcourt@gmail.com. I've got documentary evidence, albeit not from the U.S. Supreme Court, that supports everything I'm saying. And I know why they did what they did. But it's great news for all of us. If I get this matter taken care of in Iowa, now we can come, in your case, it doesn't matter what it is, and get a hold of the perps and tell them in no uncertain terms, with attitude and with authority, stand down. Particularly if you're the county sheriff, who shouldn't be doing any of this stuff, with evictions or mortgages or you name it. If the court doesn't have subject matter jurisdiction, they don't. There's no lawful order there. And as you'll learn, and as the sheriff will learn, maybe the hard way if necessary, if you aid and abet a court that was without jurisdiction, and or prevent a judicial court that has jurisdiction from exercising it, the Supreme Court has said that's an act of treason to the Constitution. And if you don't know what the penalty for treason is, Google Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. This is how we beat the hell out of the bastards, not civil rights, transgender rights, woke agenda, you name it. Wasn't designed to work, never did. And what you'll learn about all that crap is it's closely associated with the 14th Amendment, which I can prove a cappella off the top of my head has never existed. And if it did, the only thing that's happening there is that the feds and the people in the state house and the state government are invoking federal regional martial law rule. That doesn't work. It's never worked here. And the framers, worked their tails off to be sure that it didn't happen here. They understood it. And they created a federated Republican form of government with defined and limited powers. Not a democracy, aka, as my first law teacher said, 3 wolves and 2 sheep building on bus for dinner. Now they have the same democracy in Pyongyang, North Korea. And to show you how bad that is, at least they get a bit more credit for truth in advertising. The last election had a turnout of 99%. Whoa! Of course, what you don't know over there is not voting is an act of treason. They just whip your ass out in the courtyard there, put a bullet in your head. You ain't gonna do it again. That's in effect what we have here, even if they haven't gotten that overt about it. That's all we have, and there's 0 qualified members in either House of Congress, 0 qualified members in their state legislatures. Nobody is, and therefore, they don't have it. The magic 4 words: consent of the governed, not due process of law. So that said, you start doing things the right way, and I can be a big help with that. Send me an email, youwinningcourt@gmail.com, and we'll take care of a lot of things. On a personal level, by the way, I'm not particularly enamored with abortion. But then again, it isn't any of my business. It isn't any of anybody else's business either. If there's going to be a problem with that, it comes in the ecclesiastical court of conscience you're going to get to when you get where you're going ultimately. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And somehow I don't think the man upstairs is going to have a problem with it either. I would be surprised about that. It's not perfect, but I get it. And at the other end of the scale, by the way, you have a Congress that thinks there's no limits on its powers, whatever. Why don't you solve the power out there, Congressman? Pass the law, making, and here again, truth in advertising, pass the law making giving childbirth felony child abuse today. And it is. I sure as hell wouldn't want to grow up in this society that we have now and the ultimate destiny that they're going to get to. And they're going to instinctively figure it out earlier, as millennials have and Gen Xers have, that this is not what we bargained for. And when you get down on yourself and you have no easy means to invoke your rights and take care of yourself, and I think my generation, the baby boomers, were a lot better off in that way. If you don't, you get depressed, saddened, angry. What does that lead to? Drug abuse. Worse than it's ever been here. And that's one of the big reasons. You want to solve the drug problem. Forget all these BS drug statutes. Get the government back we should have. And there's still going to be some drug abuse, but it'll be significantly less. There's no reason for it. If you have a good life and a good hope, you can go out and do something and make something of your life, and have a family if you want to, and do things and enjoy your life to the full extent. There's no need for drug abuse. In my case, I went a different direction. I realized 40 years ago when I started out, that the magnitude of the issues, even though I didn't fully understand it then, was such that if I couldn't put a family first, I have no business having one. And I've taken care of business in that way. And they'll love to know in Washington, D.C., my former hometown, I'm the last of the line. But the difference is I hope to make before I go out of here. And here I am, by the way, 75 years old, and things are going so well, especially in the last 4 years. Life is ahead of me. I wouldn't think of being a drug abuser even if I wanted to do it. That's how good it is. The knowledge and the power that you have, I can help teach you that and help you to teach your children and your posterity. So their lives come out to be the best they can possibly be. That's the ultimate goal. And yes, there'll be a lot of money in payouts. You'll learn more about that later, because the perps on the other side, don't have any standing in a judicial court. We have a right to from day one. And there's no way they can let me in there and testify to a jury like what I'm telling you in this video. It's not going to happen. Even worse, if that happens, I'm going to be cross-examining these bastards unfiltered by one of their attorneys in front of the same jury. It's going to take them about 90 seconds to figure out who the hell knows the law and who doesn't. Don't even have to go into the back room to deliberate. guilty as charged, $50 million fine. Have a nice day. See you later. That's how it's supposed to work. And what I've worked so hard, to get it to be like it was before. And I think we're going to get it back here maybe as soon as the next term in the Supreme Court after the election here. But I'll keep you posted on that. In any event, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, for information about my materials, how you can get started, how you can help your family, and maybe even win some of these cases, even in their corrupt courts, or get them dismissed with prejudice. And we can then file claims for the acts of treason they committed. It really is a great thing. So that said, remember to subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. Thank you.